Welcome back. It's a brand new season of CGL.
This is just an absolute treat. These players are so damn good.
The talent on these teams is undeniable. Everybody on every team right now is making plays.
It's going to be an exciting start to the season, and it'll just get better from here on out.
We're about to step to a whole new era of Overwatch esports. So much exciting action is happening here on CGL that you do not want to miss.
Look who's starting it all off. It's Raven. No one necessarily figure out what is the right way to go just yet.
What a nice roll through from Peyton. It's just going to solidify everything for Mythos.
Does come back, and Arsario gets the mech, but I don't need a mech. I'll kill 4 anyway.
This is just a highlight reel for Arsario right now.
They're making a statement in the EU Masters here.
This patch is still incredibly fresh. There's so much to learn, so much to change about the way we play the game.
NKC, but the shatter is colossal.
Let's get it going.
Trades keep coming through. Lores, you're going to be able to find these shots true.
Idu on the overclock with 2.
Here comes an Annabelle immediately goes back to fine skills, slicing and dicing their way through 2, 3, so back and forth.
Sitting in a 4v3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find the angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. We're gonna take black. White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Santi gonna get themselves a big old 4K. Oh. Santi's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Saga4 is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. You're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Starting the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
Welcome one and all to the CGL Season 15 Diamond Tier Division Week 1 match between Cuddle Puddle and the Solar Eclipse T3. I'm HD Philly B, and alongside with me today is the one and only Dex. How are you today, my friend?
Man, I am doing good. And like you said, this is a week 1 matchup because of the PSN network going down last week. These 2 teams rescheduled for Thursday of this week. So while most of the other teams in the entirety of CGL are moving on to week 2, these 2 teams are still playing their week 1 matchup right now. We'll have to probably play their week 2 matchups quickly or shortly after this one here. But I mean, there's already been some good action today here a little bit earlier in the EU side of CGL. A great matchup that we saw there. Ended in a 3-0 sweep there for VA Cat's Plague against Dragon's Gravity. That was a good one to watch. Sadly, just did not go Dragon's Gravity way.
Yeah, not this time, but still plenty of weeks ahead of them to bounce back. I mean, it is only week 1. Still teams are getting those jitters out, still finding that team cohesion in some of these areas. So definitely Dragon's Gravity has a chance to bounce back. Congratulations to VA Cat Plague. I feel like all the cat named teams, they always seem to do really well. It must be something with the internet memes or what have you. But folks, the Cuddle Puddle versus Solar Eclipse T3. Solar Eclipse, you may know this team. Queen of Diamonds. They've kind of rebranded, renamed themselves for this season 15 tournament. So a lot of these names you may recognize.
Yeah, like you said, Queen of Diamonds, they were actually our champions last season in this Diamond tier, and one team that is probably looking to repeat here again this season. Want to start off right, though, with a good victory over Cuddle Puddle. Cuddle Puddle, I recognize some names on the roster, but it's going to be the first time seeing them all together here. But since we're going back to week one, different map pool than probably what we've been seeing so far here this week. So we'll start off with Lijiang. Blizzard World and Coliseum will be our 3 guaranteed maps. If needed, New Junk City and Rialto will be our 4th and 5th. And if somehow, some way, we get a tie, we were talking about this. We don't necessarily know what control map we'll be going to.
That's true. The loser of map 5, should we need it, will then pick the map 6. It will be control, so either Antarctica or what have you, or Oasis. So we will see. But, folks, we do have hero bans in Season 15, and so we will have a coin flip to see which squad will get to ban first. After that, what will happen is, since we have a set map pool, there's no map bans or anything like that, it will be the losing team who gets to ban the first hero, and then the winning team will ban the hero after that. And then teams can decide lineups and substitutions. So we're seeing the bans come through right now. Teams have 45 seconds on the clock to choose which one to take out.
Yeah, and I mean, coming into this one here, Cuddle Puddle getting the ban to first pick out here. And, just from what we were able to see from the team's kind of team sheets here, it does seem like Solar Eclipse does like to run a little bit of dive. We have seen Hazard being banned out a lot here. Both the tanks on Solar Eclipse talked about liking to play Winston. Diva is also there, and you have to imagine Hazard is there as well. So you might be able to get rid of one of those dive tanks heading on to Lijiang Tower here, but you're not going to be able to get rid of all of them. So once that ban comes in here, yep, it's going to be the Hazard ban. I kind of predict this one. Hazard's normally been the first ban almost every game I've seen so far this week.
Yeah, that's something we were talking about in the green room, and especially both of these teams love playing that dive composition. Probably one of the best dive tanks out there with his mobility and burst. So taking him off the board. Folks, as a reminder, a hero can only be banned once in a series per team. Only one hero may be banned per role at the same time. So another tank cannot be taken off the board. Solar Eclipse will have to go for either a damage or support role here now.
Well, if you've been seeing it a lot recently, normally when I see the Hazard band out, normally you go over to that support line. And when you're looking at that, I've seen Lucio, I've seen Kiri, Juno, Ana, I've seen them all get banned out here. It's going to be really interesting to see what Solar Eclipse wants to do here. Again, remember, champions from last year wanting to repeat again this season. So it's going to be really interesting because, I mean, at this point, right now, you're going to your support line, and you're going to your DPS line saying, who do you guys necessarily want to ban out here now?
Yeah, and that's a really good question. I mean, just looking at both of the squads, what characters they seem to like to play. Vert, who's the team captain of Solar Eclipse, he likes Lucio and the Brigitte, so maybe you don't want to take out the Lucio or Brigitte there. But on the flip side, Battle Josh, the main support for Cuddle Puddle, likes to main the Lucio, so maybe you take that out and you put Brigitte on Vert. But here we go. It's the Symmetra, which we've seen in the top tiers of play being utilized heavily to kind of counter the Hazard, right? You can charge off his Jagged Rock and then go like blaster right into him. So I don't hate this pick at all, or ban rather.
I don't hate it at all either, because it brings back into the play here a little bit when Hazard becomes unbanned, that the Symmetra can also be unbanned, being something that really will slow down the Hazard for them here. But I mean, the bans are here. Hazard and Sim, not necessarily expecting Sim. Love to see it, though, as a Sim main. But for Cuddle Puddle, I mean, again, this is a new team to me, but some recognizable names on it here. So, starting off on your DPS line, it will be Andrewy, I believe. Yeah. And Geo. Brooke, your tank, Execute, and Battle Josh as your support line here. I mean, you can kind of see it here. Everyone on this team, their favorite heroes tend to lean towards dive, especially with Ball being really strong at the moment. This Cuddle Puddle team could surprise us a little bit.
Yeah, I would love to see the Tracer Genji combination. I mean, that is true dive. I think that's probably the best composition. At least it's one of my favorites because of the blistering pace, the mobility, the way your team shifts around the map, go high ground, low ground, contest the point, off the point, whatever it might be. I really love the pace of play that a dive brings. So if we see two dive teams clashing it out, oh man, it's going to be a bloodbath.
Yeah. Absolutely. But on the other side, I mean, if you were around any time last season, Queen of Diamonds, they were a dominant team and a half. Revert's Hollander might have been that best DPS duo in the entire tier last season. Cloud Lemon, not to be slept on as well. Xerneas and It's Vert. Phew. This is just a solid team all around here for Solar Eclipse T3.
Yeah, if I'm Cuddle Puddle, maybe I'll be melting a little bit in my chairs going up against this lineup, but they're going to have to freeze themselves into ice cubes, have some metal at their computer screens to go up against this matchup. It is week 1, so if for them at least. So if you do lose this one or you go down a map or so, it's okay. You can move past this, learn something from playing against a really tough competitor, and then VOD review and move forward for the rest of your games. This is a way to get better. You have to play better teams.
Absolutely. But week 1, the jitters might be there. Yeah, you're champions, but now you have a little bit of extra, pressure applied to you. That weight on your back. You don't necessarily want to slip up very early on here. Seems like we'll be heading here to Night Market first. And when I look at this map, I mean, dive is definitely something you could see, but at the same time, I have seen tanks go Orisa and teams go with an Orisa comp and just try to bunker down on point, especially into something like a ball comp. It has worked for them in the past, but you need to have that DPS line correct as well. So once we see the teams kind of get formed up here, we'll get a better idea of what these teams really want to run heading on to this point.
I love this camera work. I know we're just talking about compositions, but my goodness, you don't always get to see these imagery of the maps here and how much detail they put into the background. So got to shout out the CGL team and producers. We have Blizz there in the background being our eye in the sky here. So really appreciate the work that they're putting in. Now, my friend Dex, we are seeing the compositions. It's looked like Dive clashing it out here on the point.
And this is what we kind of expected to see from both these two teams, but yeah, I was going to say the ball for Solar Eclipse would have surprised me a little bit, but going over to the D.Va kind of fits what they like to play. That is their most played hero, and it really does work into this. Biggest problem, though, Brook is going to be able to do a lot of damage to it. The Lightning does not really care about the defense matrix here, and it looks like Cuddle Puddle just going to try to get set up on point here first, begging Solar Eclipse to come into them.
Yeah. I like to see exactly what target they're going to pick out, because that's the point of the dive, is you have to really collapse on one target, as Hollander already has to expend the recall there.
Yeah, they have to expend it, and you see Cuddle Puddle just back off. Now they're looking for a re-engage, but they already lose Battle Josh.
Yikes, that's going to be tough, and Brooks just slamming into him. The jetpack doing so much damage, though. He may have dove too far. He gets eliminated there. The frags come through. Now the kill feed littered in red and blue. It's hard to see who's coming out on top, but it looks like Hollander with a swift knock to the noggin gets the final member off the point, and with the times ticking down, it is Battle Josh who leaps on in there, and the point still hasn't gone in either way's favor.
Yeah, it's been scrappy for these two teams. Kind of a good showing for what this series might be here. Back and forth, just trades. No one team taking a huge advantage, but that is a huge advantage to start this one.
Oh man, yeah, the tank battle, the 1v1, definitely going the way of Cloud Lemon that time. He's firmly on the point, but still not captured just yet. The members, they're just staggering themselves onto the point this time. Finally, there are the cleanup kills from Hollander. That's what you come to expect from the DPS line. They cap the point.
And look at this, we're one fight in, and Solar Eclipse already has 3 close to 4 ultimates. Cuddle Puddle has only 1, really. Solar Eclipse, they did a good job there backing out when they really needed to, but they are in a prime spot right now to start rotating through some of these ultimates. Pulse Bomb from Hollander can come out at any point here onto someone like Geo or Battle Josh, force out that Suzu early, and then you can see a dive come in from them after that. But if you're Cuddle Puddle, that's how you want to start the fight.
Oh my goodness, and that's what we were talking about, the blistering pace of the dive. The sound barrier comes out from the captain. Verts only connects onto 2. The pulse bomb, though, gets on the Execute and executes them. It's still the kill feed littered in red, and they hold on to the point.
Yeah, and right now, that even though they lost their first person in that fight, it worked out to perfection for them, and they only really needed to invest 2 ultimates into that one. Pulse Bomb and B came out for them, enough for them really to hold on. Cuddle Puddle, though, didn't invest anything. They're going to come into this next engagement with 4 ultimates and probably a 5th one at some point during the middle of it, so it should be their fight to win here. A loss would definitely hurt them.
Kitsune Rush here to start us off now that increase their attack speed and reduces the cooldowns, but they need to find a pick here as both of the Kitsune Rushes are crisscrossing across the point, but it is Cloud Lemon who once again gets the dip. A Desperation Blade here from the side of Geo. He's hacking and he is slashing, but can't find anyone, and it's Xerneas who takes him down with a swift kunai, and still Solar Eclipse they hold.
And what did I say? That was a fight that Cuddle Puddle needed to win. You had 4 ultimates going into it. Hey, you used all 4, and Solar Eclipse only used 1 in it. Like, Cloud Lemon's been holding on to this bomb. Revert's got the overclock during that fight there. Now you're so far behind the 8 ball, you have to find something here. The Primal Rage from Brook has to be enough to really turn the tides of this one.
Gonna be a desperation play here, knocking the Cloud out of the mech. It would be good, but he does get back in with the bomb. He was holding it on, and all the meanwhile, Battle Josh gets eliminated, and here's the overclock from the side of Reverts. He executes Execute once again. Nobody there to touch, and round 1 easily goes the way of Solar Eclipse.
And I mean, you're starting to see kind of why this Solar Eclipse team won this entire tier last season. Just good communication, good coordinated play coming out from there. 4 ultimates have thrown in their face. They only invested 1 and still came out on top. You don't normally see that a lot in any tier, albeit diamond tier. But I mean, Solar Eclipse, just a great start for them. Cuddle Puddle, though, that first fight, again, it went back and forth and back and forth. It was really scrappy. And I thought Cuddle Puddle might be able to, you know, make a little bit of a dent into Solar Eclipse there, but no, they just weren't able to. After that first fight loss, they never really got any control back. And Solar Eclipse T3, like I said, they had 3 ultimates after that first engagement, and they just cycled through ultimates. They played it almost to perfection. Look at what we're seeing here, though. I mean, you see Reverts go over to that far. You see that a lot on this map, but Cuddle Puddle completely making a swap here. Executing going over to the Moira. Brook going over to the Junker Queen. They want to play a little bit more aggressive into it, but you really have no one that can shut down Verts on this in the sky.
Yeah, especially Brook with the shotgun's not really going to do too much damage into Verts. Andrew trying to put in the pulse pistols to do some damage, but not really finding much purchase right now. No, Brooks, he can run into the D.Va, you know, use the Carnage, kind of really put in some damage, but if D.Va gets in your face like that, Brooks won't stand a chance.
Yeah, and this is the thing, like, you could be very aggressive with this comp that Cuddle Puddle is running, but at some point, Solar Eclipse T3, you saw just fall back, regroup, got the health up, and then they just went in and won the fight, basically. Yeah, you're seeing them, Cuddle Puddle still stick around, but this fight's all but over. Now you're just looking for cleanups, and it should be Solar Eclipse capping the point here again first. I don't think it would be smart for Cuddle Puddle to try to contest it here. No, they're just going to give it up. But you look at the ultimates here again. Hollander, Cloud Lemon, Xerneas, Verts, it's Vert. All over, you know, halfway to their ultimates. Reverts as well. You see Cuddle Puddle making swaps. 3 of their characters aren't even halfway to an ultimate here.
Yeah, that's going to be rough, especially if this is an extended fight. They can get those ultimates online, but I do like the switch here from Andrew. But Battle Josh, he goes down first again. A swift kunai to the head takes him down, but it's Verts gets assassinated by Andrew on the switch to the Cassidy. Hollander, he dives into the back line and blows up Executi. That fight is over as they have to wait for the main support to come back.
Yeah, and a smart play here by Cuddle Puddle just to fall back out. You got 1 ultimate out from Solar Eclipse, but at the same time, they're going to have 4 in this one, and you're really only going to have 1, maybe build up to 2 or 3 during it. This fight, really, you might just want to try to hold on to ultimates unless you think they will turn the tides of the fight. You want to get some out from Solar Eclipse right now.
Uh-oh, this is sneaky from Reverts. He's about to have the barrage online, and they're not expecting this. There it goes. He lets it fly, claims 1, but on the back end, 2 of his teammates have fallen. Now it is just a 1-for-1 trade across the map. Everybody is falling here. So many supports are offline. The D.Va out of mech, a desperate bomb to try to remech and keep control of the point. Still, it's in the favor of Solar Eclipse. It's now a 2v2 contestation here on Li Zhang. Micro Rockets come in, and it is Xerneas again, an assassin out there with those kunais. And Cloud Lemon, he is such a stalwart member, cannot be dislodged from the point. Brooks doing a desperation play. Battle Josh once again eliminated, and still Solar Eclipse blinding us here as they hold the point.
They're going to have beat. That's going to be all they have. Cuddle Puddle will have 4 of their ultimates here. So again, you're looking at a situation where it should be a fight win for Cuddle Puddle, but Brook dying that late. Battle Josh is going to have to go back to kind of tax them in, but you already lose Executi. However, they didn't have an ultimate. That beat needs to be invested here pretty quickly by Josh. Oh no!
Oh my goodness, Reverts just putting on a clinic here. Cannot be contested in the sky. The overtime wick is burning 1 remaining member. It is Brook here. He puts in the rampage to try to sustain. Only connects onto 1. The Deadeye there connects on the Cloud Lemon. Gets him out of mech. Executi able to dash from the point. And it's Battle Josh and the supports. They're doing their best, their dangest to keep this alive. But Reverts sees the eye in the sky, and he says it's time to go back to the spawn room doors. A great pulse bomb there for Hollander at 2K to end this map and end this game and win the map.
I mean, just a good map here for Solar Eclipse. They were able to just kind of take control and really never give it up. Give it up to Cuddle Puddle, though. They made it interesting towards the end of every map or every point, but just weren't able to get it over the edge there. But just great play all around from everyone on Solar Eclipse. Revert's getting the play of the game here, and that was a huge pick right there. Remember, this is probably going into this final fight. They also get the Ajax with a nice 1-2 combo right there. And this is kind of what you expect from this team. Like, won't be the last time we talk about, but reigning champions basically retaining their entire team. I mean, of the 8 players on this roster, 6 of them do say their previous team was Queen of Diamonds. So again, it could be a very formidable team, but there was signs of light there for Cuddle Puddle in that first map. They just need to be able to win a team fight, because that was the one thing they really struggled to do.
Yeah, the Solar Eclipse, they're looking more like the King of Diamond out here in the way that they put on a performance. We do move now on to Blizzard World, and I like this a lot better. This does give teams chances to regroup and re-strategize, because sometimes Control can just be a bloodbath. It's just team deathmatch. It's just, you just try to eliminate as many people as you can. Whereas you move into map types like Hybrid, like Escort, etc., there's more strategy. You can play with the high ground a little bit better. You have the team that's attacking into you, etc. And so you can set up your defense or your offense a little bit better. And so sometimes that helps teams kind of restabilize and regroup.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, I mean, you have Hazard coming back in, Cuddle Puddle. I mean, you would have to imagine they want to maybe play the Hazard. The D.Va looked very well there. Solar Eclipse, they might be wanting to play the Hazard. I mean, wow, I had the teams backward there. Solar Eclipse, the D.Va looked well. The Winston for Cuddle Puddle, it looked good at points. The Junker Queen, I don't think it really ever found the value they were truly looking for there. So Cuddle Puddle gets the first ban here. We could see a straight up another tank ban come from them, and I wouldn't be surprised if they go after the D.Va here, considering just how good Cloud Lemon was on the last map. Or maybe you go for the Kiri here, considering how good they were towards the end of that first map.
Yeah, my goodness. I mean, Xerneas, that was ridiculous. I would love to see the scoreboard at some point to see how many eliminations they had, because the kill feed was constantly lit up with their names. So yeah, definitely lethal on that support. But they might ban for the D.Va, like you mentioned. But if they do, Cloud Lemon does have the Winston in their back pocket. And we know that Brook was playing the Winston as well. So they might be okay. What if they go a Winston mirror? Let's see who comes out on top. So wouldn't be surprised either way. We have about 10 seconds on the clock for Cuddle Puddle to make the decision.
And I kind of think they have to go for the D.Va here. The high grounds on basically all the points here of Blizzard World can sometimes just be a little bit oppressive from both sides. So it might need to be something where you need to ban out that D.Va. But I mean, you can see they're thinking about it here. It's going to be interesting to see what they want to do, because they might be planning to run D.Va here. Even though, like you said, we could see the Winston mirror come out if you do ban out the D.Va. It's going to be a lot here once we see what Cuddle Puddle decides to ban.
Yeah, because Brook, he is a Wrecking Ball player. So they might go Wrecking Ball, especially if they're attacking first, and just kind of disrupt everything, able to get to some of those high grounds quite easily. So they would be okay with taking out the D.Va first. Still, Cuddle Puddle, they're pondering this decision, which could be game-changing, game-altering. Hopefully they're not crying right now and creating puddles in their chairs. And it is a DPS lock. The Sojourn will be eliminated for this round.
An interesting one, in my opinion. I mean, we only saw the Soj for the first point there on Lijiang Tower. After that, it was the Pharah and the Tracer. That's just an interesting one to me. Maybe I could see the Soj finding a lot of value here, especially with the high grounds and long sight lines that you could get. The railguns do definitely become a problem here, but Solar Eclipse, I mean, you can now decide to go ban out a tank, maybe try to ban out the Winston, because Junker Queen didn't necessarily do a lot to you in that second point. Or do you go after a support here? I mean, they have basically 2 good hero pools to go after here, and really decide of what they want to try to do here to slow down Cuddle Puddle even more.
I would say ban the Winston. The Junker Queen on first point here, really hard to get through the choke, especially with how coordinated Solar Eclipse is playing. So I think Cuddle Puddle will stay away from that. Whereas Brook was looking pretty comfortable on the Winston. You can use the shield and things like that. So I would say get rid of the Winston and force them to play into you with something that they're uncomfortable with. But here they go. They pan out the Kiriko. Maybe they've kind of Achilles healed themselves here by getting rid of that character.
I don't actually really hate this ban out here. Just specifically because, I mean, we saw Kyries come out from both teams at points on that first map, and Cuddle Puddle's Kiri did do a lot of work there. I mean, you saw them getting Kitsune rushes at or even faster than what Solar Eclipses were, so it could be a little bit interesting here. But I mean, you see the two bans here, not a tank, which is a surprise for me that we're not seeing that here. But the Kiri ban, I think, makes perfect sense. Same thing for the Soj. But heading into this second map, it seems like we're going to be getting a couple of subs coming in here for, I believe, both sides, or at least, yeah, for both sides. So for the side of Cuddle Puddle, it looks like it's Brook is going to be going out. Pizza Bot is going to be coming in. Chris for Executy as well. So a big kind of shift here. You're subbing out your tank. You're subbing out your support there on Cuddle Puddle. And I think for on the side of Solar Eclipse, you're having 3 subs come in here. Anjoki coming in for Cloud Lemon, Synarchy coming in for Xerneas, and Locos coming in for I believe that was Vert.
Yeah. And that's something, Dex, we didn't even take into consideration, that the subs might be coming in, so that's where you're putting your bans, right? So if you're taking out Xerneas, who's, favored as Kiriko, knowing that your other 2 players are not going to be playing Kiriko, then yeah, take it out. Make sure that the other team can't utilize such a great hero. So yeah, there's something we didn't consider about those substitutes, but we'll see. Knowing that Pizza Bot, they said their favorite character is Diva, so they might be playing that. And then on the other side, Locos, she likes to play the Mercy, and Synarchy likes to play the Ana. So we'll see if they use those kind of characters in a synergistic effect to cap the point.
Yeah, and you see here the subs for both teams. The entire support line substitution here for Solar Eclipse. And tanks being subbed out for both sides, and then Cuddle Puddle also just subbing out as support. So nothing changing in that DPS line for either team, but a lot changing behind them here. But heading into Blizzard World, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You don't have to necessarily play dive on this map. You could play poke. Sigma is good here. You could try to play fast. A ball comp here is definitely something we have seen in the past, and especially with ball being in the meta, which is really weird to be saying. I mean, you could see Wrecking Ball come out here, but you also do have the Tor back in play for both sides. Sim back in as well. And you're already seeing right there, defending team looks like the Hazard will be making the appearance, and a Zen coming out here for Chris on the side of Cuddle Puddle. Very, very interesting, but you do see that Symmetra coming back out here for Geo. First time we're seeing them, and Revert's currently hovering over the Torb. Locos, yeah, that's kind of what we expected from her. Playing the Mercy here. Synarchy, gonna be, I thought the Ana would have been a nice pick there, but the Illari, that's a very, very fun pick.
Man, I really like Illari as a character, but attacking, maybe not. Like, where are you gonna put your pylon? Okay, all right, they were just duping us there in the spawn. Chris on the Zenyatta here is very vulnerable, right? We know him as a glass cannon. I mean, if you get dove upon, you could get one-shotted real quick, and then there he goes. It's a lot of damage and some healing off the board, so they're going to have to protect him, and I think that's why the Sim is there, to really make sure that Zenyatta stays alive.
The Sim, the wall right there as well, just stops Anjoki from really doing anything right there. And I mean, the TP is out. So now if you're Solar Eclipse, I mean, there's no get out jail free tool right there for Cuddle Puddle. You're going to want to play aggressively into this, but this damage boosted reverts could be scary.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up that high ground for free, really. They didn't even play into it. The Winston did a semi-dive, and they were like, nope, we're scared. But now, as they move into the background, they allow the dive to come in further, and they get 2 kills for themselves, and Anjoki has to back off, so it looks like their patience paid off.
Yeah, it's going to pay off in spades here, especially finding Sin on their way out. Locos and Anjoki could be the only ones to survive here, but honestly, I think if you're Solar Eclipse, you might only have one more true engagement with this composition before you have to make a couple of swaps here into it. That glass cannon of the Zen on the other side did a lot of work there, actually, in that first fight. Battle Josh as well, doing a lot as well. You see him highest ultimate charge in the field at the moment, but Hollander, linking into the back line, someone has to know they're there, right? Nice denial of the jump again.
And then there it is, the same strategy. It's like, okay, come at us, use some cooldowns, and then we're going to back up onto this secondary high ground and defend the point in earnest. So I really like this. I like we were talking about in the pre-show for this map. It's like teams can have a better strategy where there's some more tactics involved in some of these maps. Right now, Pizza Box, he is looking to deliver like the Amazon androids. Right now, it is Hollander though with a swift kick to the face, takes down Geonese, looking for more, does Blaster, but now the defense dismantled for the side of Cuddle Puddle. They have been melted once more. It's just a Hazard who remains alive, but Ash is on the case. She is looking to hunt the bounty and does. There it is, Battle Josh, the final one to be eliminated, and firmly on the point here is Solar Eclipse.
Yeah, and I mean, you saw their Solar Eclipse, they were just basically baiting out a whole bunch of cooldowns there very early on. Immortality Field was used incredibly early to try to keep Geo alive as they make the swap going over to the Tracer now off the Sim. It was fun to see the Sim for a moment, but now you're kind of back into the same thing we were seeing a lot on map 1. Solar Eclipse, all 5 ultimates ready to go, but because of these swaps, Cuddle Puddle, they will have 3, but they're going to be lacking behind in their tank ultimate. So getting rid of Pizza Bot's bot here very early on will lead to a lot of stuff here for Solar Eclipse, not even necessarily needing to use any ultimates if they need to.
I'm looking at Chris. He is going to have to come up huge here in this next fight. This Transcendence has to be transcendical. Like, it's got to be the best thing I've ever seen to keep the team in it against this onslaught of check marks coming out from Solar Eclipse. I like Pizza Box here on the high ground, laying in the micro missiles. The dive comes through here from Anjoki, immediately discords. He decides better of it, goes back to the team.
But look, you got out the Transcendence from Chris, meaning you could have another dive come right back in here almost immediately. But the bomb coming out from Reverts, Solar Eclipse, though, not necessarily wanting to kind of push this here. They're wanting to try to bait something out, but the bomb coming out from Andor.
Whoo, huge, because like we were saying, that Transcendence had to be massive, and it was lackluster to say the least, but the Bob, the 6th member of the team, was able to clean it up. So far, Cuddle Puddle able to hold here, but 3 minutes on the clock, still plenty of time for Solar Eclipse, only investing 2 ultimates in that last engagement.
Yeah, but that fight was the tale of 2 Bobs, really. Revert's Bob didn't do anything. Andor's Bob found everything they needed and more there. Led to that team fight win, led to Solar Eclipse falling back. But if you remember how the first point went, I mean, Solar Eclipse took a fight and then came back in and immediately won the next fight here. But you have some things to play with here if you're Cuddle Puddle, especially that Pulse Bomb.
Uh-oh, Anjoki, he is angry, but he's lost Sinarki in the background, so no healing will come through. He dives a little too deep and gets eliminated by Chris. Another push thwarted here from the side of Cuddle Puddle.
And right now, if you're Solar Eclipse, you're looking at the ultimates that you have here. The Valkyrie, yeah, it's good, but I mean, it's not going to be enough to win you a fight. The Pulse Bomb could have been something to really get you going here, but Tracer's down for both sides here. But at the moment, Cuddle Puddle's in control. A huge anti-nade. That's going to force out the bomb, though. That's huge for Solar Eclipse.
Yeah, and he, you know, is able to get back to the rest of the team. You'd like to use that ultimate maybe sometimes offensively, but having it on defense is really good as well. So they can stay on the point. They haven't lost any meterage because of that. So if they're fine with that dive going that way, baiting out some cooldowns there. A great anti-nade, but right now, Anjoki, he's under duress. The Sleep Dart gets absorbed here. Has to lay down the bubble to keep himself alive. Great pocket here from Sinarki, but still, nobody is on the cart, and that's the most important thing with a minute 40 on the clock.
The Valkyrie, though, coming out here from Locos as Solar Eclipse. They want to go fast, and man, did they respond fast as well.
Squished into the dirt is Battle Josh. Immediately responded, though. Now the battle is starting in earnest as the kill feed is being lit up. Pizza Bot, though, is dangerously low without his main healer at his back. He's looking for some kills in the back line, and he has his sights on Sinarki, who has to nano to keep his teammates alive. Here is Geo, though, kind of being sneaky with it, but it's Pizza Box. The tank is gone, and the jump through from Anjoki, the dive clean from him. The cart, rather, will keep rolling. I believe just a few cleanups will come through. A Transcendence here from Chris, a desperation play to keep his final remaining members in it. Battle Josh eliminated once again. Here into the back line goes Geo, trying to be a sturdy rock on the point, but it's Hollander who diffs him there right at the end. Pizza Bot, the last remaining member to stagger on there. He'll get cleaned up quickly, and the cart will move on.
I understand wanting to get a little bit of more time off. The spawn's not that far away either, but you're kind of putting yourself into a bad spot right now by staying in these spawns and walking out the doors. I really thought Cuddle Puddle, Chris needed to hold on to that Transcendence there. Battle Josh probably wouldn't have been better holding on to the Amp Matrix as well, but with the swaps coming out from Battle Josh, I mean, it's not that big of a loss for them anymore. They're not losing that much in ult charge either. Solar Eclipse, though, they did exactly what they needed to do there. They have a Pulse Bomb still, about to have another Primal Rage. Revert's not far from a Bob here. Pizza Bot does have a bomb back, so that's going to be used as a remaking tool. Don't normally see them used aggressively, but with it being diamonds here, you never know, especially when you find an early pick like that.
Andrew finds an icicle lobotomy there onto Reverts. He wants to go for shot on that as well. A nice bomb into the backline. The icicle wall just elevating it to get a little more purchase. Loco's going crazy there, banging their head, saying, how did I get hit with that one? Another dive in here from Pizza Box. He goes deep, and he's looking for Sinarki. Sacrifices life. It's mayhem out here, Dex.
I mean, once you lost your bot right there, or you mech for Pizza Bot, you're just trying to find whatever you can. You found the kill there. That will slow down Solar Eclipse here for a moment. But you see Anjoki still holding on to this Primal Rage. Reverts does have Bob. Your support line coming up to both of your supports here. You look at Cuddle Puddle, they're kind of lagging behind. If you play this fight fast, especially maybe invest one ultimate here early on to win it, you might not necessarily see Cuddle Puddle use an ultimate in this round.
That was a great combination play to pick out the Zenyatta, using the dynamite and facilitating the dive, allowing the Primal Rage to go through. Two are found within the Bedlam there. Another Pizza Box is extremely low, again off the back of being painted in purple, and it's Reverts who's coming up clutch again with these shots.
Support elements online for both sides now. Andor's Blizzard is going to be huge here. They have to build this up pretty quickly at the moment because it might be the only thing that stops them. But Pizza Bot will be taken out here early.
Oh, nice sleep there, but they already lost the main tank. A desperation Electric Cowboy has entered the battlefield, finds one. He needs to find another to maintain some purchase on the point. The Transcendent also expended to keep the Cowboy alive. There it is, the second one eliminated with the final remaining seconds. No one's there to touch, and that's where the payload will hold.
Right at the finish line as well. Cuddle Puddle, they came out with exactly everything they needed. That Electric Cowboy, you don't see it that much anymore, but man, did they do a good job there. Also, the Blizzard, I thought that might have been invested pretty early on in that engagement. No, Andor actually held on to it for waiting for the perfect moment when their team was probably going to be down a player, but didn't need it. You saw their chuck it out at the end as a little bit of a celebratory Blizzard, but everything there Cuddle Puddle did, it's what they needed to do. They give themselves now a chance to win this map and not have to go to overtime. Solar Eclipse, though, the defense has to be good here. They did a pretty good job last point once they were able to, get control and just never really let it go. You see what they're coming out with here, though. It's not really going to be anything different than what they were playing. I'm not going to talk about Cuddle Puddle's composition until they walk out the doors, basically, because I don't expect to see the hog, but it would be a choice. But looking back at Solar Eclipse, I mean, this is exactly what they were running here. Loco's on the Mercy, did a really good job on the Mercy, in my opinion, last round. Maybe could have been a little bit better here and there, but that's just a nitpick, not necessarily something that you would really talk about. Sinarki did a good job landing those Biodays, especially like very key points in fights. You saw there towards that 3rd-point push. And Reverts and Hollander, I mean, the ultimates for them really haven't been anything to write home about. Bob has kind of been a big miss for Reverts, and Hollander, I think, might only have 1 or 2 pulse bomb kills so far this map. So not necessarily, again, like I said, something to write home about, but the Rhine comp coming out? Oh, wait, I love this. They're going to do some TP strats here.
Yeah, let's see if they go directly to the point or try to aggress onto the high ground with this one. Here's the TP. Yeah, they're going right for the point with this. They're trying to go extremely close to the back line. Painted in purple are they, so low, and the shield has to be expended as well as the Immortality Field, and it's Sinarki on this awesome off angle, able to find an elimination. It's Hollander. He heard you. He said, I don't need the pulse bomb to get the kills. I just need my fists and my guns, and he gets it done. Just Pizza Box, the last one remaining on the point, but his shield is cracked and shattered. Hollander with a triple kill, the whole.
And I give it up to Sinarki there. They're the main reason, in my opinion, they won that fight. If they were on the opposite high ground behind the point, I don't think they win that fight there. The shield would have been able to do enough, and you immediately see swaps coming out here from Cuddle Puddle. It was a one-fight composition, and that was it. Geo going back over to the Tracer, Geo going over to the Genji, and/or back on the Tracer. Pizza Bot making the swap as well. So, again, a whole comp swap coming out here very early on, but this is something that I've loved seeing so far from Cuddle Puddle. They're being aggressive into Solar Eclipse. Normally, it was Solar Eclipse being the aggressors last map.
Okay, the dive comes through, but Sinarki again is the one to come up clutch and thwart it, finding Andor there on the Tracer. Here, Anjoki, he's been just diving in with reckless abandon. He doesn't even care what target he's going for, and it's Reverse who capitalizes on that dive, finds Battle Josh, and eliminates him. It's going to be a reset here for Cuddle Puddle.
And we talked about how good Sinarki's Bionades were last round. Was already starting off this round, been the reason they won these first 2 fights. I mean, hell, they found that early pick there onto Andor. Look at what did to Cuddle Puddle, forced them back. They found a couple picks here and there, but look at the time bank. Already halfway gone, and Solar Eclipse about to come up to all 5 of their ultimates. Cuddle Puddle not far behind, but the bomb coming out from Reverts just as they die might be able to keep them alive in this fight.
Yeah, so it's still technically a 5v5, so to speak, and there's the dash in, and the bomb expended. Doesn't connect this time, but it gets him out of position. It's Anjoki. He's looking for an elimination to turn the tides here. Does find one, and it's Hollander. Who else is getting his name into the kill feed? PizzaBot's under duress here and gets eliminated from the mech, but expends the bomb to get himself back into the diva form. There's Anjoki into the backline, goes swinging away with the primal rage. He's feeling buffed up and angry. Almost a second point tick tapped there for Cuddle Puddle, but they retreat before they can get it done.
Yeah, and you look at what it was there, not even 1% needed there to get up to that second tick. That will sting them, but you look at the ultimates that were invested by both sides there. Solar Eclipse definitely maybe over-invested into that one. Only have the Valkyrie left to go in this engagement. Look at what Cuddle Puddle has. An Orbital Ray, a Nano, a Pulse Bomb, and a Blade. You're looking at a situation again where they should win this engagement, but huge plays coming out early from Solar Eclipse.
My goodness, the team coordination from Solar Eclipse is just so clean. Now they're going to be cleaning up like a janitor out here. The custodial staff has been called in at Blizzard World. There's some follow-up kills, and they hold it once again. 45 seconds on the clock.
You're really looking at right now, last fight scenario here, unless you take a very quick one. If I'm PizzaBot, I would have been going back to spawn a little bit sooner. You basically just guarantee that this fight is going to be final fight on this point no matter what. Solar Eclipse, though, still only have this Valkyrie. Hollander not that far away from a Pulse Bomb, but you will have 4 ultimates here for Cuddle Puddle. The Orbital Ray, though, from Chris is going to be the difference maker here. The Nano, yeah, it's going to be cool. Whoever goes out onto, probably onto Geo with the Blade, but that Orbital Ray is going to be something that really opens up this fight, and it's exactly what they're starting with, and oh no.
Oh, but Chris was able to let the orbital ray fly before they died, so at least they got that off, but still, they have to win this fight with the amount of ultimates they can invest into it, but they may not feel like they will. It's Anjoki who finds Battle Josh. He's not able to expend the Nano. Locos does get eliminated there in the backline. Geo still is holding onto that blade, waiting for the proper moment. I think they'll be able to cap the point here as the overtime wick burns, and an economical win at that.
Yeah, and I mean, you see Reverts go over to the Soldier, try to get back, and now they're going to try to get out with their life. Looks like they're going to be able to here, but Cuddle Puddle only using 1 ultimate in that fight actually really sets them up good here for this second point push. Yeah, Solar Eclipse is coming up to 3 of their own, but you have 3 and about to be 4 as well here. Chris, though, getting caught out early is not a trend you want to be seeing here if you're Cuddle Puddle.
Yeah, for sure, because then you don't build that ultimate charge. I want to make a note that Locos did expend the Valkyrie in that previous engagement, so that's a big defensive tool here to stop the payload if they have some momentum, but obviously the pick on the Chris, even better. And there's Geo who's trying to engage there, gets sniped out of the sky. Now it's PizzaBox. That anti-nade is just crushing them. He expends the bomb there to try to get it back in the mech, but he gets eliminated before he can do so. Anjoki creating tons of space out.
Yeah, but again, if you're Cuddle Puddle, I mean, only the bomb was invested there. You still have 3 ultimates. Chris going back over to the Zenyatta here. Now, you have to be a little bit of a difference maker, especially playing what we called a glass cannon last round. Again, playing a glass cannon, especially attacking. The defense team is in a much better spot to play a Zen here. Pulse Bomb, though, finally going to find something, and it's going to look like to lead to a team fight victory here.
Oh, my friend, they're making you look like a genius with that analysis. The bomb, just such an easy target onto the Zenyatta. Ah, man, Chris, as I'm a Zen main, I love Zen, but maybe not the right time for the guy. I would go back to the Juno at the very least. Still, 3 check marks. I feel like they're waiting for the proper time to get the Nano Blade online. Sometimes you just got to send it.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta here, especially as you see the Nano ready for the other side, and Revert's not that far away from a visor here. Not saying that's who it's gonna go to, but I would probably expect it to. But no, it's gonna actually go out to Anjoki, but this fight might be over already.
Oh my gosh, no, Geo. You hate to see it after all that time they spent building up to that crucial combination, and it gets thwarted with an instance. It's Sinarki who is just the MVP of this round.
And right now, you're looking at final fight territory here again. That's a great way to start it off here, but you only have a Pulse Bomb and nothing else in sight. Solar Eclipse, they're going to get that Tracer back pretty quickly, and then you look at what they have here. They're about to have 3 really good ultimates here, and plus a Valkyrie to even, keep them supported a little bit longer in this fight.
Anjoki, though, he was out of line of sight, and PizzaBot was able to run him down with the micro missiles. That's going to create a ton of space, but the overtime wick will now start to burn, folks. So they have to stay on the point, but with 2 eliminations going their way, Locos barely surviving. A nice sleep dot there onto Hollander to keep the point alive,
Oh.
but Battle Josh, he can't get sniped out of this one. My friend, this is going to be a crazy final fight here, as we know this final area of point 2 can be really tough. A good assassination there from Geo onto Sinarki. That's a bulk of the healing missing. It's going to be on Locos to survive. Another dive in here. A sleep dart on Anjoki, but he has the primal rage, so he can stay on this point for as long as humanly possible. There's the attack visor. Oh, no touch there from the side of Cuddle Puddle, and Solar Eclipse will take map number 2.
Man, I mean, Solar Eclipse was doing everything they needed to do there, but when their backs were put against the wall, Cuddle Puddle did a really good job actually making it very, very interesting. It's a lot like what we saw on the first map as well. Cuddle Puddle, they looked a lot better this map, but just weren't able to get over the hump here. I mean, if they were able to get this second point, push into that third one, they gave themselves a win condition. But one of the biggest things that we saw there throughout it was just the use of ultimates from Cuddle Puddle. Like you said, it seemed like they were waiting for the perfect time. But me and you both agreed, sometimes you just need to use them. You just need to get them out because you don't want them collecting dust, kind of like they were there. That Nano Blade that they were probably hoping the world for, well, it got put to sleep very quickly.
Yeah, and you know, who knows? They could have accrued another Nano in that time when they were holding on to it, right? I didn't track that specifically, but sometimes it's about being proactive rather than reactive. And as you climb the ladder, that's what it becomes in these hero shooters. How are we proactive? Because how are we baiting out ultimates and cooldowns so that we can get done what we want to get done? Unfortunately, Cuddle Puddle not able to do it this time. Solar Eclipse, they moved to 2 maps to 0 in this first of 3 series.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that being the end of our second map, we're going to throw it over to a quick break and be right back with what could be, sadly, the final map of this series. Everyone, you're not going to want to miss it. Stick around.
Welcome back, everybody, to the CGL Season 15 Diamond Tier Division Week 1 matchup between Cuddle Puddle and Solar Eclipse T3. HD Philly B here alongside my good friend Dex. Right now, Solar Eclipse is up 2-0 so far in this series.
And we were talking about during the break right there, Solar Eclipse has been the more dominant team so far. Cuddle Puddle has shown some signs of life, but whether it be just over-investing ultimates, not finding value with ultimates, or holding on to ultimates too long, I feel like that's been the main difference so far here. And just Solar Eclipse T3, again, the pedigree on this team is great. Champions last season in this tier want to start off good, and so far they're looking to do just that. But third map being Coliseo here. I mean, you could see a lot come out. Hazard is definitely something you could expect to see again here from either side. Cuddle Puddle did play it there for a moment, and it looked good for the brief time that they did show it. But then it got beat once, and they decided to give up the Scott man.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Malga or Arisa in this on this map of Coliseo. Something else we talked about in the green room is push map and being in the third spot can always be a momentum shift, because this is a 10-minute game mode. You're battling it out the entire time, and if a team wins it, especially if you're behind, that could propel you forward to win the next map and maybe win the series. So definitely one you don't want to miss. We are in the banned phase right now, and it is Cuddle Puddle's turn to pick. We talked about, could it be a tank? Maybe they go for the support this time. They haven't banned one of those yet.
Yeah, they haven't done that just yet. I mean, Kiriko was banned out last map, but when you're looking at what was kind of the biggest problem for Cuddle Puddle, at least from my perspective that Solar T3 is giving them, it's going at that tank, and you really have to get rid of one of them here. The Winston, I mean, that we saw played for Anjoki the entire time was great for them, but do you ban out the Winston here knowing that you might want to try to play it yourself? It's going to be incredibly interesting. Maybe they go for another DPS character here. I mean, getting rid of Tracer, not necessarily the worst idea. That has been a problem for both teams so far.
Yeah, actually, that's a really good point. Hollander was a cleanup kill specialist there on the Tracer, and then Andor eventually was getting some of those trades, and it is Mercy being banned out. They are targeting Locos here if she is still in.
Either this is a ban for Locos, which I don't think they are back in anymore. I think they got subbed back out. I think we're seeing the map 1 roster come back in for Solar Eclipse. Or this is a protection ban coming out here. They don't want something else banned, so just ban out the Mercy, because you probably won't be seeing the Valkyrie come out here in this map. But for Solar Eclipse, what do you go after here? I mean, there's only been a couple things that have really slowed you down, but you've been able to kind of adapt and kind of shut them down throughout this entire series.
Yeah, man, I would probably say the Diva or the Winston, just because of the way that Pizza Bot and Brook were playing. They seem very comfortable on those heroes. You want to make the tank a little bit shaky in their boots. You want to make sure that their flow through their kit is not on point. So I would target maybe one of those two bans if I'm Solar Eclipse. Just as a reminder, teams decide lineup and substitutions after the bans are picked. So poor Locos, if the Mercy gets banned, they're probably like, sorry, girl, you got to sit on the bench for this one. We'll get you in next time. So with 13 seconds on the clock, let's see what Solar Eclipse decides to do.
I mean, does Solar Eclipse go for a tank here? The one role they haven't gone for? No. Instead, it's the Genji, which, I mean, did give them a lot of problems last map from, I believe it was Andor. So not necessarily a big surprising shock for me that it's being banned out here. Force that DPS side for Cuddle Puddle to maybe play into a Tracer a little bit more, where they have probably thought, or they've probably experienced, maybe the Tracer is a little bit easier to deal with when it's coming from the side of Cuddle Puddle.
Yeah, I agree. I believe it was Gio who was on the Genji there, slicing and dicing. But yeah, I agree. If that's a DPS that he feels comfortable on, take that out of the pool, make him a little bit shaky there. It's another dive character, so if you're playing that sort of style, take him out. You have to play something else. So, but especially in the neutral here on Coliseo, you can play folks that are good on the sight lines, like the Sojourn, like the Ashe. So I would expect one of those two characters to be starting out.
Yeah, but here you see the subs coming back in for both sides. Brook coming back in for PizzaBot, back to what they were kind of running on map 1. Chris staying in, though. On the side of Solar Eclipse, though, they're just subbing back out that support line. Xerneas and Vert coming back in here. And like you said, with that Mercy Band, Locos was probably told, okay, kind of have to pull you out now, but Anjoki going to be staying in this time around. So not the same rosters we've seen from both sides at any point this series, but a lot of familiar faces here. Coliseo, though, it'll be really interesting to see what these teams want to play. No tank ban again here, so every tank is open on the table. You could see Hazard, you could see Ball here, a map that I think Ball does find a lot of value on, considering just how many good spots there are to grapple and slam down. But I mean, Solar Eclipse kind of just sticking with what their bread and butter has been so far. That Winston not really been punished, not really been shut down. Brook currently hovering over the Ramatra. First time we're seeing them here tonight. Chris, I was going to say on the glass cannon again, but I'm not seeing second, even third guessing themselves here at the moment. I think the BAP might actually help them out here a lot, especially with how good Andor was last map with those right clicks. They did help their team really win a lot of fights in map 2.
I'm looking at reverts here, especially in this neutral point area. I mean, where there is a ceiling under here, so it might be hard for them to maneuver in and out. I know the windows are gone here on the side, so they're going to be dipping in, dipping back out. But they have to play really careful, especially with Geo and Andor. With these projectiles, they can snipe them right out of the sky.
Yeah, but right now you see basically everyone besides Brook and Chris playing inside this main area. The rest of the Cuddle Puddle squad is outside. So you see Reverts there just finding a decent amount of value, just shooting some rockets and torpedoes coming out from Xerneas as each team just try to find an opening here.
Yeah, but that's actually huge cooldowns expended. The Ice Block and the Nemesis form. So if you're Solar Eclipse, that's a heads up where you might want to go in. It's Reverts and Anjoki combination play. And it's Anjoki laughing all the way to the bank as he takes down 2. Reverts playing a little assassin style Faray here, cleaning up the kills.
And here's the thing. That was a nice ice wall from Andor, but it split up their own tank from Anjoki. It was only Andor and Chris there, and you immediately see swaps coming out from both those two. Andor going over to the Winston. They don't want to, going over to the Reaper. They don't want to deal with this Winston anymore, and Chris going over to a Juno of their own here. Kind of swaps I expect to see, but look at Reverts. Almost has a barrage here. Hollander has a pulse bomb. You're about to see a very explosive fight come out here.
This is going to be unsuspecting. Cuddle Puddle does not know that this is what is about to happen, but Reverts a torpedo to the back of the head, and they are in the spawn room doors now. Running away is Solar Eclipse. The chase is down here. Reaper with the Hellfire shotguns dives a little too deep. Didn't manage his cooldowns, had to reload, and Joki cleans up his Nemesis from Talon, but still the cart keeps pushing. His 3 members are on it. There is going to be a contest here as the push bot is moving forward here, Dex.
Yeah, remember how I said I thought Solar Eclipse was going to have a very explosive last fight? Yeah, no, neither of those ultimates really found anything. Instead, they both died right after using them here. But you're going to have Primal Rage, you're going to have Orbital Ray, but Cuddle Puddle, they want to stay alive in this fight. Beat coming out early.
Oh man, Battle Josh just put under duress here from the Tesla cannon. The beat only connecting on to 3, and Joki, he is just a menace in the backline, and it's Xerneas who's finding a kill here as well. Primal range expended. He is an angry scientist now. He has his eyes set on the Reaper, and it's a team kill for the side of Solar Eclipse.
A costly fight for both sides. There are 2 ultimates being invested, but Cuddle Puddle, again, kind of been their Achilles heel this entire series. When they use ultimates, sometimes you just find any value. The beat really didn't keep anyone alive. Deadeye didn't find anything there from Geo. Hollander now just kind of chunking down Brooks. And Joki finds him there. This is going to be first point to Solar Eclipse because of a slight mistake.
Brooks was like, if it's like a fly was just flying around him, he didn't feel like swatting, and eventually the fly just sucked all the blood out of him and he died. Like, Brooks, a little heads up there, my guy. He does have his ultimate online, though. The Annihilation, the nanobots can be effective here into this team fight, especially if you combo it with the Orbital Ray. So we'll see how they combo these ultimates moving forward.
I mean, Deathblock's not that far away either, but the rally coming out from Verts to get this fight started.
Okay, and that's a huge amount of healing coming their way to keep the tank alive. Brooks is getting dangerously low, so is Verts, and they collapse upon him. There's Andor getting a huge elimination. The Orbital Ray off the back, you feel like, dang, maybe you should have held on to it as he knew the fight was won.
Yeah, I mean, this has been something we've seen from the Solar Eclipse all series long. When they lose one of their supports, they normally back out of a fight pretty quickly. Hollander, though, sometimes that's not the case. I mean, they are playing Tracer. But, I mean, you have the forward spawns. Well, you had them. there for a moment if you're Solar Eclipse. The DPS going to have to go back to the initial spawn here. But yeah, you're kind of wanting to have that that orbital ray back here if you're Cuddle Puddle. I mean, you look at what they have here: Annihilation, Death Blossom, Deadeye, not far behind. Solar Eclipse is way far behind on ultimates now, but this has been the story we've seen a couple times this series where we talk about Cuddle Puddle having a huge ultimate advantage lead to not even winning the next engagement.
You gotta win the fight in the neutral. You have to stay alive to get those ultimates online, and so far they can't do it. A barrage there doesn't capitalize on an elimination, but capitalizes on creating space. Yes, Reverts goes down, but so many kills go the way of his team, and they reclaim the bot.
They reclaim the bot. Battledraw still alive, though, running for their life. Doing a good job actually keeping themselves alive here for the moment, but that door kind of stuck there for Josh. Kind of got caught up between them, and Jokey and Hollander are going to take him out, but you want to know how costly of a fight that was? Yeah, Reverts invested their barrage, but look at the ultimates now. It's going to be 3 ultimates ready to go for both sides, and Orbital Ray ready for Xerneas here. That makes you want to give them the edge here, but it looks like all that Solar Eclipse wants to do is just get those forward spawns back.
Yeah, and that's fine. I mean, keep the bot just running back and forth. You have the lead by, 40 meters, basically. So you don't have to push it all the way to win. You just have to have the most when the time runs out. So an intelligent play. Let's play it back in this neutral area. Oh, the Death Blossom, I think, whip shot away there from the side of It's Verts, the captain. So well done. Here's Geo with the Deadeye. Can he find a pick? Everybody runs and scatters like rats. And Geo goes down with Verts coming in, assassinating him again. Battle just finally gets his name on the board, and Jokey dangerously low, but hops back to the safety of his supports. This guy is a madman, just able to toggle between front and back so effectively.
Andor will find Verts there. Brook going over to the Winston themselves. I mean, that was a heavy invested ulti for both sides there. I guess Cuddle Puddle came out on top because really neither ultimate, or all 6 ultimates, didn't really find any kills.
Yeah, absolutely. Now with the 2 support ults, they can definitely aggress onto this if they so choose, but they might be waiting for that perfect moment. That's kind of been their Achilles heel so far. Andor, he needs to get topped up before he can re-engage again onto Jokey. Oh, there is the recall. The beat goes on to all 5 members. This is their go button here for the side of Cuddle Puddle. This could be where they turn the tide, and it's Battle Josh who opens up the kill feed, and there they go. An onslaught of blue here, ladies and gentlemen. Still Jokey, he lingers just for a little bit longer, but the bot is now moving here for the side of Cuddle Puddle.
I was going to say, I mean, Cuddle Puddle, that was a great fight for them, but they forgot the bot. That's going to allow everyone on Solar Eclipse to respawn here. And Jokey, though, very low on health, gets that ball back in time to get themselves back up to full health with help from their supports here. And again, this is looking like it should be a fight that Cuddle Puddle wins. Reverts Barrages have not found anything this round, this map at all. But this time, though, sometimes you just got to be at the front door.
Oh my goodness, the caster blessing here from the side of Dex, allowing Reverts to capitalize, finding 2 just in the nick of time. The bot doesn't get to the checkpoint. That was a crucial point here for the side of Cuddle Puddle. Now they are under duress here on the retreat.
3 minutes left to go. You're only staring down the barrel of a 27-meter deficit here. You do have ultimates coming up, but Solar Eclipse going to have the same Pulse Bomb coming out, not going to be able to find anything, and instead, much like what's normally been for Hollander, Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything, and they get killed right after it. And now Cuddle Puddle back in control of the bot. They're going to have to play aggressively here. They kind of have to try to catch Solar Eclipse off guard. They cannot allow them to get set back up.
Yeah, playing from this high ground area as well. And once they go under the bridge, that's when your time is to jump. The orbital right here from Xerneas is going to be crucial in terms of changing this fight and the tides of battle. There it is. He lets it fly. I thought it was going to be under the bridge, but it looks like it's going to be on top of it. Cuddle Puddle is under so much damage here. It is Jokey with the Primal Rage just cleaving through everyone. 2 members do go down. Make it 3, Geo now. He is running for his life. It's poor old Brook. He will be babbling all the way home back to the spawn room doors.
And Solar Eclipse, I mean, good fight for them. Invested 2 ultimates in that one. You did get the Primal Rage out from the other side, which I imagine Brook kind of would want that one back right now, because you look at, if they had that one, they would have had all 5 ultimates ready to go here pretty soon. Less than 2 minutes. Those ultimates could have come in very handy, but hey, you're still going to have 4 ready to go here if you're Cuddle Puddle in momentarily. Solar Eclipse really only going to have 2 here. Verts rallies have been good so far, but again, Reverts, Barrages found value last time, but so far that's only a 1 out of 3 chance of actually finding value.
Absolutely, my friend. Now it's the Overclock who tried to find some value there, enough to get Anjoki out from the rest of his team and away from his support, so he goes down. That gives the cart enough time to progress. An intelligent retreat here from the side of Solar Eclipse to regroup and then re-engage.
And it looks like Solar Eclipse might actually give up the point here. And no, they're not. They're going to take a fight.
Oh, and another boop away from the Death Blossom Hollander with a desperate pulse bomb here, but it is Brooks who is clutching it up here with the side of the orbital ray expended by Chris. That's a great combination here. Hollander doing their best to keep the point alive, and the bot from moving. The butt scratch has finished, and the point will keep moving for the side of the Blues.
And here's the thing right now, Solar Eclipse, they have to get someone out there. You see Anjoki, they're going to get dived just in time. This could be final fight for each team right here.
A huge rally there to coordinate the dive to keep everybody alive, and the tank is gone. There is Brooks dismantled. That's a huge health pool just gone from the side right as the bot was about to cross the finish line. 15 seconds here left on the board here. It's Verts. He gets assassinated from Geo, but an immediate retaliation here from Anjoki. He says, "That's my captain, buddy. Stay away." 10 seconds here, folks. The time is ticking. It's desperation. The lives of the Cuddle Puddle team is on the lines to stay in this series, and Andor, the final member, he gets eliminated. A desperate ball just to get onto the point and get a touch, but Brooks easily sent back to the spawn room doors. Battle Josh deleted as well. The overtime wick burns the desperation heroes onto the point and easily taken down one by one from Solar Eclipse. Folks, I hope you put on your glasses for this awesome display of might from one of the top teams here in the Diamond Division.
Yeah, Solar Eclipse, they did what they needed to do. They're maybe a little bit too close for comfort, especially at the end. But again, just a great series all around from this team. Cuddle Puddle, though, they definitely got better throughout this entire series. This was probably the best they looked throughout here. Just so close yet so far away. But I mean, Solar Eclipse, they had everything kind of in the bag here. Almost gave it up, but just found their kills here at the end to keep it in their control. A good 3-0 sweep here for the reigning champions.
Absolutely, and it's just those little timings, right? Knowing that they were going to be able to contest the point when it was 3 meters away from being like the point of victory for the side of Cuddle Puddle. So that is just what shows the difference between the top upper echelon and the lower tier squads or mid squads is having some of those minute timings under the bag, and that confidence and that trust in your team, knowing that they got your back. That dive that was a great from the Winston to go in with the rally on top of it. You'll love to see it. So a fantastic victory here from Solar Eclipse. My friend, we have something special for you. We're going to have an interview here coming up.
Yes, everyone stick around. We'll be right back with one of the members of the Victor team here tonight, Solar Eclipse T3. You're going to not want to miss that, so stick around.
Welcome back, everybody. HD Philly B here, alongside with Dex, and we have a very special guest. It's the main tank and Jokey from Solar Eclipse T3. My friend, after what an emphatic victory, how does it feel to win your opening match?
I mean, it's nice to be back in CGL. I took like a bit of a break because I was focusing on collegiate stuff, but I mean, I recently graduated. I came back, bro. It was kind of fun. I gotta be honest, bro. There's something about the community, like part of CGL. Like it's just nice. Like just console stuff in general. Well, I mean, this is PC, right? But yeah, I mean, it's still fun anyways. I don't know.
Absolutely, man. But hey, you said you're coming back here. A lot of different stuff here in CGL. Hero bans being the biggest one here. How did that really impact your team with the bans that you guys were making and the bans that other team was making as well?
Well, I don't know how to put it. It's like, the bans, we kind of just got rid of the people that we don't really like. Like, okay, Symmetra on what is it, like Lijiang, like the characters that really warp the map. It's really fun when the maps don't have those characters, like banning like a Widow on Widow maps, or banning Symmetra on like those control point maps, so that you have more options for like what we can do. It's just, it makes the maps more interesting. The other part is, like, if we really just want to counterban somebody and we do some scouting ahead of time, we can just counterban somebody. As for their bans, I don't know. When they banned the Mercy on the Colosseo, I don't know when we would run a Mercy on a Colosseo, but it was a little interesting. So someone made the joke about the bans being, you know, one map behind in terms of like the info that they were using, but I mean, it was still fun. Like, I say hero bans are a good, like, thumbs up here.
Yeah, absolutely. But man, and Jokey, you come back onto a team here that previously known as Queen of Diamonds won CGL last season. You weren't the starting tank here. It was Cloudlemon that started, but it seems like, I mean, you guys are all working as a very solid pair. Was it like to kind of come into this team that already is reigning champions and going back to try to run the table again?
I mean, it's kind of hard not to have confidence. I mean, like, on teams like this, I kind of just want to, like, have fun. To be honest, it's just like I was told, yo, we need a sub. I joined. You know, the tryouts were a-okay. I'm on, and then at this point we're just rotational. It's pretty fun. I mean, the way I'm feeling is just like, it's just like we're having fun in scrims. I mean, we're having fun in scrims when we're not scrimming like too high up. At that point, it's just like it does get a little like frustrating getting beat down. But I mean, it does make these matches a lot more fun. It just makes, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I can tell your smiles abound. Your energy is infectious. We're feeling it all the way over here in the booth. My final question for you is, Winston, I love playing him myself. What's your favorite part about playing that tank?
Bro, there's something about just walking up, you're just using the Tesla cannon, zapping the people around, and then, I don't know, it's like, it's super simple, like, in terms of like the mechanics part of it, and then you swap to the tank, or no, swap to the ultimate part, like the primal rage, and you just like bro, the juggles, they're just kind of fun. I don't know, something about it. It's like I like forcing it in a bunch of different situations. It's like I am in a permanent honeymoon with the Winstonator. I gotta be honest. Like, I can't get to playing the character.
Fantastic. That's a great mental to have, and especially in some tough series that you'll have ahead. My friend, while you're on the broadcast, who would you like to shout out?
Shout out. I don't know. I think I could say family. I could say I did get coaching from a very knowledgeable fellow, Schleim, and some other people from. Well, actually, I don't know if I'm supposed to if I can give my local college's name. Like, I don't know if that's like soft doxing or not.
If you want to, man.
Shout out Texas A&M University San Antonio, like the collegiate team for there, like the Overwatch team. They're doing pretty good. They got obviously some new players, and they did help me out a ton. So, you know, shout out to them and also my team. So.
Okay, fantastic. Well, folks, this is Jokey, one of the main tanks here for Solar Eclipse T3. We will sign it off here, but stay tuned tomorrow for some more CGL matchups from HD Philly B and Dex and the rest of our crew. We'll see you next time.